Hi, I'm Joni Rogers from Stella's Umbrella, and this is your next favorite book, The Other Typist by Suzanne Rindell. Oh, it's a good book. Read it, read it, read it. It's like the summer read this year. I think it's going to be a huge hit because it's consumable and delicious and substantive and excellent, as you know, because it's from Amy Einhorn Books. That's one of my go-to imprints. Amy Einhorn Books, I think her first book when that became an official imprint at Putnam was The Help. So it was off to a pretty healthy start there. And then another book I love, The Weird Sisters, The Postmistress, which a lot of people just loved, and I liked it a lot. So it's Amy Einhorn, which is a brand that means substantive, incredibly well-crafted, excellent books. So I knew I was going to like it, but I had no idea I was going to like it this much, and I think you will too. It's been described as Hitchcock meets Gatsby, and I think that's apt. It's set in the 1920s, but not in a typical kind of way. It's an interesting take on the fact that in the 1920s, that's when women really entered the workforce in the United States. We kind of think of the 40s that happened, but not really. And when you place this protagonist in that moment where out with the Victorian structure and in with the flapper age, it's an incredible moment for this woman to be. And the opening of the book is very evocative, taking us to that moment and creating that world. And in the first 10 pages or so, it's like she's going along, and we're foreshadowing about what's going to happen. And then it brings us back, but this is where we are now. And then it goes kind of off foreshadowing, but this is where we are now. And it was kind of getting a little irritating, to tell you the truth. And then I realized it's like a typewriter. Because you're like, and I mean, it's been so long since I typed on that kind of a typewriter that it took me a bit to click to that. But I'm telling you, if Suzanne Rindell did that on purpose, it was brilliant. And if it's just one of those happy accidents that happens in a book, it's just another sign of the really organic unfolding and vibe of this really richly told story. Okay, so Rose Baker is a typist in a police precinct. And it's this very patriarchal kind of environment where the men are like the sergeant, the lieutenant, detective. I can't remember if we ever even actually know their names, or just that guy. And in comes Odalie, the other typist. And she's this free-spirited, vivacious, joie de vivre kind of person. Shortly after she's hired, she cuts her hair, and that's like, wow, she cut her hair at that, remember how that was at that time. And it's just so attractive to Rose, who's been very closed off and judgmental and reticent in her own life. All of a sudden, she's sucked into Odalie's world. She's going to speakeasies. She's living this totally jazz age life. And she is drawn into kind of the underpinnings of Odalie's world and starts to realize that there are secrets and problems and not coolnesses that she didn't even begin to suspect, and that she is starting to realize she will not be able to escape from. I thought it was just incredibly well done with the reveals and the unfolding of this story. The ending caught me totally by surprise, did not see that coming, and that I loved. So yeah, I am highly recommending this amazingly, I mean, I want to use the word sexy, but it's like a sexuality that transcends sex scenes. It's a sensuality, I guess, but it's evocative, it's substantive, it's well crafted. Read it, read it, read it, The Other Typist.